You're listening to Krimtime, a YouTube channel and podcast that focuses on cases involving serial killers. All of our cases are available in both Swedish and English. This recording may contain descriptions of violent crimes and should be approached with caution. If you feel discomfort regarding crime-related content, we advise you not to continue watching this video.
Hilda Nilsson, the Angel Maker of Bruksgatan. Hilda Nilsson was born on May 24, 1876, in the village of Tierup in Svalöv, Sweden. She grew up in modest circumstances in a society where social shame, women's subordination, and poverty could be death sentences in themselves. Her parents, Anders and Johanna Lagerstedt, were working-class farmers doing their best to make ends meet in a harsh agrarian world. Early on, Hilda showed signs of independence. She completed elementary school with good grades and then went on to work as a maid, a common occupation for working-class girls at the turn of the century. But life took a tragic turn. Twice she became pregnant out of wedlock, and both babies died shortly after birth. She was forced to give birth to her daughter with the help of an old woman in Stad, Helsingborg, only to lose the child. Thus, from an early age, she experienced personal tragedy in a harsh society that stigmatized unmarried mothers. As an adult, Hilda met Gustav Nilsson, a fireman who later became a station worker at the steam ferry terminal in Helsingborg. They married and moved to Bruksgatan 5, trying to build a life together. Gustav was diligent and hard-working, but suffered from an eye injury that forced him into lower-paid work. The couple struggled financially. They filed for bankruptcy in 1915 and lived under the threat of eviction. Despite Gustav's honest efforts, Hilda began seeking alternative means of support. She attended a cooking course, worked at restaurants, and for a while at Dunker's rubber factory. She was also treated at a health institution in Lund for what was then termed promiscuous behavior, a label often used for women deemed morally deviant. When honest opportunities dried up, Hilda began taking in infants from unmarried mothers in exchange for payment. This business began around 1915, during a time when information about contraception was banned and abortion was strictly illegal. Many unmarried mothers saw no alternative but to give up their newborns, paying large sums in hopes the child would be raised in a safe, nurturing environment. In Hilda's case, reality was horrifyingly different. She received the babies and, once payment was secured, she drowned them in a zinc tub, often using a washboard and a coal bucket as weights. The bodies were burned in the laundry room. She confessed to 8 murders, but it's speculated there may have been up to 17 victims. The home on Bruksgatan appeared tidy, and neighbors described Hilda as friendly and domestic. This ability to maintain appearances meant suspicion was never raised. Unlike other angel makers, who often let children starve, Hilda actively took their lives. The children brought to Hilda were often just days old. Wrapped in blankets, they were handed over by young women from across southern Sweden, frequently using false names and without providing documentation. The payment ranged from 50 to 200 Swedish crowns, a significant sum at the time, and usually meant the mother never saw her child again. According to police notes, Hilda could take in a baby in the morning, assure the mother it would be well cared for, and carry out the murder that very evening. A particularly heartbreaking detail was that several children came with small amulets, letters, or toys later found hidden in the laundry room. Only 2 children survived Bruksgatan. They were relocated before Hilda could kill them. Gustav Nilsson remains an enigmatic figure in the story. He was aware of the activities, but remained passive. During interrogations, he claimed to disapprove of Hilda's methods, but did nothing to stop her. He never alerted authorities, and did not act when children disappeared shortly after arriving. His silence may have stemmed from fear of financial ruin or blind loyalty to Hilda. The story took a turn thanks to Blenda Henriksson, one of the mothers who paid to leave her child. At 23, she worked as a maid and had given birth in secret to avoid family and societal judgment. She saved for over a year to afford Hilda's services. At first, Blenda received reassuring letters from Hilda, describing the child's supposed life in detail. But when the letters stopped and Hilda's explanations grew inconsistent, Blenda became suspicious. She traveled to Bruksgatan to confront Hilda, who claimed the child had died of cough and was buried in Gällivare. Blenda persisted. She contacted the priest in Gällivare, who confirmed that no such child had been buried there. She saved all the letters and notes and went to the foster care board in Helsingborg. Her courage and persistence launched the police investigation, an action that saved future children from the same fate and exposed one of Sweden's most horrifying murder cases. Arrest and initial interrogations. Hilda Nilsson was arrested on December 20th, 1916, after police involvement via the Foster Care Board. Detective Herman Stjernstrom led multiple interrogations over 10 days. Hilda initially responded politely but evasively. She denied the murder accusations while maintaining a respectful tone. After repeated pressure and being presented with evidence, ashes and textile remains found in the laundry room, Hilda confessed to 3 murders. Exact quote from Hilda in the interrogation: "The thought came to me in the afternoon when I was going to bathe the child in the laundry tub. It had been so fussy and hard to care for." She later confessed to 5 more, a total of 8 confirmed cases. Police meticulously documented her statements and the tools she used. The laundry room at Bruksgatan 5 was cordoned off. Evidence collected included ash piles from the furnace, textile scraps and amulets hidden in the coal oven, neighbor testimonies about strange smells and smoke. These were matched with Blenda Henriksson's reports and Hilda's own confessions. The trial began on June 2, 1917, and concluded on June 15, 1917. Hilda was summoned to the holding room in Landskrona and transported to Helsingborg. The case relied on Hilda's confessions, physical evidence from the laundry room, testimonies from biological mothers, witness statements from neighbors and doctors. Gustaf Nilsson was also called as a witness. He admitted knowing that the children disappeared but denied involvement. Blenda Henriksson said calmly, "I just wanted to see my child alive." Her dated letters and Hilda's contradictory replies were key evidence. Neighbors described the home as tidy and peaceful, but this was countered by the gruesome findings. The Royal Medical Board found Hilda to be sane and fully criminally responsible. The report emphasized her methodical actions and lack of empathy. On June 13, 1917, Helsingborg District Court sentenced Hilda to death for 7 murders and 1 manslaughter. Gustaf was criticized for his passivity but was not legally charged. A contemporary article in Helsingborgs Dagblad described her as calm and composed, pale and gaunt, prepared for what awaited her. After the verdict, Hilda was transferred to the women's prison at Landskrona Citadel. On August 10, 1917, she hanged herself with a linen cloth in her cell. Ironically, this was the same day her death sentence had been commuted to life imprisonment. She never learned of the change. The case led to significant reforms in Swedish foster care law, including stricter documentation requirements, regular government inspections, improved supervision of foster homes. Hilda Nilsson became the last woman in Sweden sentenced to death without receiving a pardon. Her case has inspired countless analyses, articles, and debates about morality, gender roles, and the responsibilities of the justice system. Hilda Nilsson was not merely a product of her time. She was also the architect of her own tragedy. Her story reveals what can happen when social vulnerability, economic desperation, and legal silence converge. It is a tale of guilt, betrayal, motherhood, and the limits of justice.
What do you think about the case you just listened to? If you're interested in more, feel free to check out our other crime stories. You're always welcome to send us tips on new cases. We'll consider them for future episodes. We hope you enjoyed listening, and don't forget to share Krimtime with others who enjoy this type of podcast.